I wonder, when you heard the news of an 8-year ban for Blatter and Platini, what your response was?
Well, I laughed, briefly. But you see, it's not the real penalty. It's the one all the reporters are jumping on today because they haven't got anything else. The fact is, when the Swiss police start their investigation seriously, I wouldn't like to be Mr. Blatter.
Right, so you're talking about the wider investigations going on there by the FBI, also by the Swiss authorities that we heard the beginnings of back in May.
Well, beginnings of the FBI were in contact with me in 2009 as they slowly built their case. And the difference is, this is a private organisation. They've come up with this odd decision. So other decisions have been odd. I don't really give a lot to their decisions. In fact, the only reason they've given any credibility at all is because they're losing credibility.
Let's just return to what the Ethics Committee announced today. And I mean, the response by Sepp Blatter, I suppose you've been following him very doggedly for 15 years or more, and he is incredibly defiant. That doesn't surprise you, presumably?
Not at all. Anyway, he's half bonkers, remember. He's been in power for so long, he's actually used to look in the mirror and think, gosh, I am the most important person in the world. And nobody dared disagree with him. And he's got, whether he can ever master the understanding, I don't know. But he's still, obviously, the remnants of it.
What do you make of him over the years? I mean, you say that effectively he seems to have lost touch with reality. You couldn't get into FIFA recently. You were actually barred from the organisation, weren't you, as a journalist? Your reporting was stopped from there.
I think I've been banned since then. About a dozen years, roughly. But you see, isn't the point? The point is the FBI are coming. The Swiss police, which did start late, and they've got to make their time up, and they're going to take their time because there's not a serial murderer stalking the streets of Zurich. They don't have to move swiftly. They're going to move at a reasonable pace, and they'll get them all. And that's when it will get interesting, because it's what's in their servers. If you recall, on May 27th, there was a lot of fuss, and all the media covered the arrest of a few not very important people. At the same time, the same day, another squad of Swiss police went to FIFA House, waved their badges, and seized 9 terabytes of information. And that's where the story is. And I'll be fascinated, as we all will be, when they start to tell us what was in it.
Yeah, of course, and that investigation goes on. And I mean, in terms of what we heard today means for FIFA, do you see this as a cathartic moment, or is that still yet to come from your perspective?
Oh, it's still yet to come. Listen, the arrests a few weeks ago was at the same hotel. The good old boys just don't realise that everybody's fed up with them. They don't want any more to do with them, and they're happy to see them wheeled away by the police. FIFA's got a long way to fall before it picks up. It may pick up in another country.
What's been driving you all these years, despite being banned from going inside FIFA, despite the number of encounters you've had and been ignored or told to go away? What's kept you going?
It's a good story. I don't care about these lowlifes banning me. I mean, I wouldn't take the test, of all these people, anywhere you're investigating, anywhere in the world, is would you take them home to meet your loved ones? And I wouldn't dream of exposing my wife and children to the influence of these just nobodies. So, no, it's been fun. We'll get to the end.
Unfortunately, not everyone feels the way you do. We saw Sepp Blatter re-elected as president not long ago. A lot of the members in there still wanted him to be at the top of their organisation.
Yeah, but who are these members? They're members who've been paid off to get nice little grants, which they send to them back to Zurich or to Geneva or where the bank of their choices. And I should be very interested to see in February, when they claim they're going to hold an election for the next president, who will risk turning up to get their collar filled? Because the Swiss police made it clear, they announced they were looking at development grants. And again, this has been of no interest at all. It's not dramatic enough for most of the journalists, but in fact it's much more important to the future direction of FIFA.
Just tell me, what does today mean for you? We saw it was FIFA's own ethics committee taking this action. Does that mean to you that something is changing within FIFA?
The ethics committee, I think, is desperately trying to remain relevant. So they got to do this. Earlier, they came up with some disgraceful judgments. 6 years on the Korean guy, 7 years, I think, on the Chilean guy. It's outrageous, these decisions, and it may not, whatever decisions they take now, it may not be enough to save them.